Welcome everyone. This is the All In FPL show. We are back. I know everyone missed me last week. I do have a really good excuse. We gave birth to a little puppy, so that's why I did have a week off. But we are back. I may be dipping in and out because I'm on puppy duty. My wife's left me to go shopping already, but we're here. I come back for the All In faithful to give the best advice possible, and I'm joined by my two partners in crime as ever. First of all, Alex Doyle. How are you, Alex?
I'm good. I'm good. Show the puppy to the camera. I think everyone's gagging to see.
Here she is.
There you go. The true star of the true
We're going
star.
to double our viewership.
Yeah, this is Penny. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from puppies, as you heard there, here he is, the money man, Joshua Wooldridge. How are you, Josh?
You're right, mate. Yeah, I'm really good actually. Thank you. I've been not doing much today, but that's a good thing on a Monday. So yeah,
You've been preparing for the show, obviously, right?
yeah, exactly. We've got some good stuff coming up today, haven't we?
We have indeed, yes. Alex, do you want to give us the rundown of what's happening? I always call you Alex at the beginning. I don't know why, because I introduced you as Alex Doyle, and then it's the only time I've ever called you Alex rather than Doyle. But yeah, what's happening then, Doyle?
Yeah. So we're going to do the same as ever, right? So start with teams. Go through points this week, starting with the worst, finishing with the best. Then we'll go on to the hot topic, which is this week about strikers. We did midfielders last week, so we're continuing the series, going on for those striker options, chat who the picks are and who to avoid before we finish with teams for the next game week. There we go.
Sounds good. And we're going to have I obviously weren't here last week, but I did edit the pod, and you was taking the piss most of it about me. So, how many times do we think
That
I'll
won't
have to go
change.
to clean up shit and piss and stuff today? Should we have? Do you want to set an over under?
Well, the puppy probably once or twice, then your own piss and shit as well. So you're looking at least 3 or 4 times.
I set you up well for that. Anyway, all right. Should we get on to this week's teams?
Josh is in last. Having a look earlier. Yeah, 33 points.
What a joke! I saw JB went past me. I don't know if did it stick. Are you still above me? No,
Oh
no,
no.
no.
Sorry. I've not factored in auto subs because you've got Chilwell, so he's coming off. You got Botman on bench for 9 points.
I've done this every week, man. I keep having this first sub. The rest of my bench is crap every week, but the first sub, I know who to put first. You know what I mean? I know who needs to be ready. I had a doggy the other week, didn't offer 12, but yeah, um, Chilwell is that was a very disappointing one yesterday. I feel like no one saw that coming either. I feel like that was a real surprise one yesterday.
I mean, you
Zero
mentioned
point.
it, right? When after he kept coming off at 59 minutes, you were worried about it.
Yeah, I was worried not start. I didn't consider that to be honest because for some reason I thought even if they drop him from left wing, he'll just automatically play left back. But it just wasn't the case. So very strange one. Slightly concerning for the future, but I think I'll probably give it one more. Yeah, he got zero. He was always getting booked once he came on as well. I put that in the chat straight away. I was like, this guy is definitely getting booked as soon as he comes on, just to make sure Doyle can do his little stupid sub joke. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that was that was a zero. Adogi and Madison 2 and 1. I got loads of yellow cards as well. So I think Sterling got booked, Jackson got booked, Bruno got booked, Madison got booked. So a lot of people are going to have those. I think JB's bored already. Um, the Arsenal game was the only thing that saved me really. Saliba and Saka got 6 each. Saliba was close to a few baps as well, so that was a bit of a near miss. Um, and then everyone else blanked except Haaland captain, who should have had, I would say, 4 goals. I think that's a very reasonable thing to say. Even the goal, he should have nicked it. I don't know what, like, selfless, whatever. Just steal it off him, just kick it in. I don't think he was offside. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I didn't think he was offside off that goal. So yeah, and then he hit Areola about 5 times as well. So yeah, very.
He's not been clinical for 6 months. I keep saying this, but
No, but it's just the volume, isn't it? Like the
oh yeah,
sheer
you get a
volume.
volume. But like when he first joined City, like say he was a monster. Everything he touched went in. Like every chance was automatic, and now it's just not. It's weird. I mean, his XG per 90 is 1.5 though, so I mean, Like, he doesn't need to be clinical.
Yeah, exactly. He's the Rashad White of the Premier League. He gets the volume, so it's all
Pure
right.
volume. Pure volume play.
He gets the volume. Brian Robinson, they just get the volume. They're going to get the scores eventually. If
Cheers,
they
Josh.
keep getting them.
You've just turned off 95% of the listenership already there.
Sorry, I'm too excited about our big boy players yesterday. Bottom and first sub 9 points. I'm happy to have him. They've got a really good fixture run. I was between getting him and Henry, and we think Henry's got a big ACL injury. So again, I feel like I've been a bit lucky there, but also made ultimately the right decision. So yeah, see what happens. I'm sure Doyle would have gone Henry, and well, he already has him. But like, I'm sure in my spot you would have gone Henry, and that would have been funny. So yeah, they've looked really bad defensively. Brentford have actually. On a side note, I think they've looked absolutely shocking defensively. The keeper's rubbish. Glad I took the Newcastle spot.
Yeah, I think they'll really struggle next week against Everton at home. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for a clean sheet.
Yeah, it's the battle of the two fixture teams who've got like the good fixtures, but just both will never keep a clean sheet. So yeah, it's like you were close yesterday though, Doyle.
Yeah, we need a new segment in the show. Like, what is Doyle doing while Everton are playing? I'm making up weirder and weirder reasons not to watch Everton. So, week before last was I went to the cinema in the middle of the day to watch Oppenheimer at 12 o'clock. Yes, this week was I went to Davis Cup tennis in Manchester for no reason whatsoever. And next week you'll have to tune in to see what I do next week to avoid watching Everton. It's a doozy.
Aren't you going to Norway next week?
Oh, you spoil it now, Josh. All the viewers were going to tune in again next week to see that, and now you've ruined it.
But you're going to be. I don't know if you're going to be here next week. You're going to be in the mountains, aren't you, or something? What is there in Norway? There's no mountains in Norway, is there? No.
Probably not. I've got no idea what I'm doing there, to be honest with
you. I'll get Penny to stand in for you.
Yeah.
Probably better advice.
An ample replacement. Anyway, shall I go through my team quickly if you're done, Josh?
Over to you, mate. Mine's a joke.
Shit. So we had Johnston in goal for a nice 1-pointer. Looked on for a clean sheet until the 87th minute and somehow ended up conceding 3, which was pretty impressive. Though it did bring my actor in, so it was like a win some, you lose some. Udogie I brought in for Tarkowski. He conceded against Sheffield United, classic. Rico obviously went off with his injury. Wouldn't have kept it clean anyway. Saliba, easiest clean sheet of his life. Foden's rubbish. Sterling's rubbish. Maddison was rubbish. Salah was great. Probably should have had 3 assists. I was at the game actually, the Liverpool Wolves game randomly, and I still don't understand how that wasn't a goal. How it was an own goal possibly, but I've not seen the highlights. So there you go. It looks clean as a whistle from my view. Then Bruno, struggled. Haaland got his 6, obviously, and Wissa got 1. I captained Maddison as well, so yeah, that was a bad error by me between the 3 of them.
I'm not having this that I'm bottom, by the way. You're all out. I've got my goalkeeper to play. He's getting at least 10. So that's like, I think I might be top of the shop other than JB. So second we'd call it, but
I think Ryan Turner's in my team.
Yeah, I might be second. I think I'll be second. So Doyle's but lost again, basically.
I don't think so. I think that's highly unlikely against Burnley, mate.
If the Greek goalie plays anyway, we get a massive 3 points from Pickford anyway, don't we, Josh? You got Pickford on the bench as well,
mate. Turner starting. It's all been confirmed. Don't you worry.
He's good keeper. The other one they signed though, so I do think he's going to out Matt Turner at some point.
Yeah, I had him in my Champions League team last year. Bloody Vlad.
Yeah, so didn't he save? Was he the one who saved like a penalty every single game or something?
That was Diego Costa, I think, from Porto. You got the Portuguese links though, like you.
I nearly had it. Yeah. Okay, shall I go through my team?
Yeah, you go, David.
Top of the shop. Go on.
I'll be super quick because she keeps crying every 2 minutes. So if she starts crying, then you can take over, Josh. Turner's still to play. I had Gabriel, who finally done something for me, come in with the 5 points. But apart from that, Chilwell and Gvardiol didn't do anything for me, really. I'm a bit worried about Gvardiol now. Would he play that many games? He probably will, but I don't know. I could possibly go somewhere a little bit cheaper in defence and then maybe use them funds further forward, maybe. I'm thinking maybe getting another striker in. She's having a poo, brilliant. In midfield,
like your wife, JB.
That never happened. again, I had Maddison as well. I did expect so much more from Tottenham. They obviously just scraped through in the end. And how ironic, the one that everyone sold, Richarlison, came on and done the business. So yeah, that was very disappointing. But a lot of people had Son as well. Obviously failed to deliver. But it's just one of those games, I guess. Had Salah as well. He seems to be ticking over really well. But my Brentford boys, they let me down really with Wissa and Mbumo. But it wasn't really this game. It's the 2 next games that they've got that are really good. So then once that's over, I'll probably look to sell them.
Wissa just pisses me off, man. I hate that guy. He's on my ban list now. He's done me over 2 years straight now. Like last year, whenever I picked him on Monster, he bricked. Whenever I picked him like once or twice in FPL as well, and he got nothing. He's just he's one of those cursed players for me. I think I'll give him 2 more weeks and then.
Do let me know when you sell him. I'll be getting him straight away as soon as he leaves your team.
It'll be as soon as a wild card, which could be who knows when. Should we do a quick couple of minutes on like the games at the weekend? Just because I feel like if we go straight into forwards, we're not sort of talking about, we're not looking back and reflecting. Did either of you watch many games this weekend?
I just watched Match of the Day. I watched your game till NFL came on. So yeah, I watched most of your game.
I watched Match of the Day as well.
Yeah, I think the thing that stood out to me from Match of the Day was like the Haaland volume of shots was the main thing that I saw. I couldn't believe how many.
Doc looked good though as well.
He was absolutely brilliant.
He was electric.
Pep said he was braver or something, or like I can't remember what he said, but Pep was really impressed with him. So I think he plays now as well. I think he like does keep that position for a little bit, especially 6. With Grealish. Yeah, especially with Grealish being injured.
Oh, he's a cheeky pick.
Yeah, I didn't think Alvarez was that involved, but he did. He took a free kick as well. He hit the post, didn't he, off the free kick? I was surprised he took the free kick, but makes sense. They don't really have a free kick taker as such, so.
Yeah, I guess we'll touch on Alvarez in the next section as well. The only other thing I thought United looked all right going forward. I thought Rashford looked really, really positive. Højlund looked all right as well up front, even though they did get battered.
Rashford had a high volume of chances as well. He had like 4 chances again, and that's been the case every week. What did you think of Liverpool?
They were shocking first half. I was there with my basically 2 brother-in-laws. One's a Wolves fan, one's a Liverpool fan, so that was very funny. So first half we were having a great time, laughing at Liverpool brother, but he got it in the end. I thought they were pretty poor overall, to be honest with you. They sort of got let off a little bit. They were much better when Darwin came on, when Diaz came on. Diaz really was really, really good. I thought they really struggled. Yeah, like compared to when they had Jota and Gakpo on, it was night and day. When they put on Darwin and Diaz, so I think that will be the front line next week. It'll be Diaz, Darwin, and Salah. I'd be very surprised if there's anything else, but.
Yeah, Diaz is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Are they playing in Europa League this year? Is that what they're in? Like, are they going to be playing on Thursday? Is what I'm asking.
Must be right.
They came like 5th, right, or something? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Actually.
They're going to be playing you on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So I think that'll be quite indicative as well. Like, I think if Gakpo and Jota are starting that, you'll know for sure. I think, and I think they probably will. Would be my feeling, but who knows?
I don't know what Klopp does in Europe. I think I'd have to have a look at like sort of minutes in the past and how he does it, because like some managers just like a bit of continuity, don't they? Particularly when they didn't play at the start of the weekends, you might want the minutes out of them. But
this is different Europe though. Like Europa League's so different. Like it's been Champions League like 3 of the last 4 years, I think, and then they weren't in Europe the other one. So Europa League's probably different. I would say. I don't know. Yeah, but I expect Diaz to definitely start. I think he's been unbelievable every game this season so far, and then he must have just had not many.
I think he's that late from the
international duty. Yeah, all the South Americans came back late.
South Americans always, they always get benched after. Get a Stupinian as well.
Yeah, so that's absolutely fine. It's just, is that why Ben Chilwell didn't start as well? Is he? Fuck's sake.
You can hang on to that.
Yeah, well, I thought West Ham have looked brilliant as well, to be honest. Like,
yeah, they looked really good in that game, really dangerous as well. They had a lot of chances.
Yeah, Antonio is unbelievable. Ward-Prowse is playing in the number 10. I don't get how he was so cheap, to be honest, like as a signing. I just think he's absolutely unbelievable. He's like a complete central midfielder for like a mid-table team. And yeah, it was like 30 million or something. It's just like, yeah, I'd have paid that all day, I think. And he's playing unbelievable at the moment.
Yeah.
Just diving header this time.
Last thing to touch on here as well is, Josh, did you say you put United in your racket? At the worst price of all time?
I was in this group and 20 people posted a winning accumulator, and mine just was the same 5 legs as everyone else, and then I just randomly put Man United in there to beat Brighton.
When Brighton shot JB were 2.5 to 1 to win that game. It's just outrageous, obvious value.
Doyle says the odds horrible. It's 5 to 2, but yeah. Yeah, okay. I really thought Man United were a good price as well. I thought they were just going to absolutely batter them this week, but yeah, it was an annihilation. But as you say, Doyle, they did have chances. They did look good. Like Hannibal's goal was a bit random. It was just a bit like of a pot shot, but like Rasmus had his goal that was marginally off the pitch, obviously, and Rashford had about 4 chances. Bruno didn't really. He didn't really look involved.
I didn't see him. No, I was going to say that. I didn't see him in highlights at all. Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to the hot topic?
Yeah, JB's proper dead. Yeah, so we're going to talk about strikers today. We did midfielders last week. Hopefully, there's at least 2.5 of us here. So let's hope, with a bit of JB's input at some point as well, that we can cover the strikers even more extensively than last week. Midfielder chat. So yeah, I think the context of this is that people have probably got getting a bit frustrated with Jackson, for example, would be one thought. You said Wissa's blanked the last few weeks, so is it time to to go to something different? You know what I mean, or should we be sticking with these more chalky players that we've got at the moment?
Yeah, I think we're going to do it slightly different. Last week we sort of did a ranking, didn't we? But I think this week it's kind of hard because there's not like last week, it's loads of really good mid options, whereas this week most of the forward options are kind of crap. I was going to say, would you consider it all like a one striker lineup like JBL at the start? But I don't think that's viable, just given the volume of goals going in.
Yeah, you literally can't play 4 at the back. I think people are struggling to play 3. So, I think you just have to take your striker and just accept he might get a return every 3 weeks, maybe, and that's just a better. I still think that's a better spend of points than a 4th defender.
Yeah. You need to have 3 at the back. I think you said you watched Match Today, didn't you? They showed a stat on there about how many more goals are going in as well, because of the extra time. Because it's got another 5 minutes. There's so many more goals going in. The clean sheet's just really hard to come by at the moment.
Yeah, I saw the exact same thing. I think there was there was a 0-0. Sorry, on Sunday. Sunday really hyped up the clean sheets this weekend because on Saturday it was just 2 out of 7 games. Don't worry, Everton sorted that out, and Bournemouth, Chelsea as well. So
yeah, 3 of the worst teams in the league didn't score. Shock.
Yeah. So there's been about I looked at a stat before this weekend actually, and the average clean sheets was about I think. For last season, it was 5.5 a week, and I think so far this season we'd had 17 in 4 weeks, which is about 4 a week. So there has been a big drop off in clean sheets already, and this weekend's got another 5 with 1 game to go. So it's pretty much true to form still at the moment. Yeah. So I think you have to just pick one and go with it, and I think there's a lot of options to go with, and I think this is a good spot in your team to have a bit of fun and just pick someone who you really have a feeling on, you know what I mean, or who has a run of 3 fixtures or something, you know what I mean. I think it's a really good spot to go different in, and I'm hoping we've got some here.
Yeah. So who are should we start with guys that you'd get rid of, who you think actually need to get shot off, sort of thing?
It's really hard, because I think I would still only sell at this point if you've got 2 free transfers and you're using one of them. because I think it's a luxury transfer still. I don't think it's like an essential transfer. But
Yeah.
like I know a lot of people this week will be selling Wissa or Jackson as two examples because they're going to be quite frustrated with them, I would say. So like it's for that slot, isn't it? You know what I mean? I can't see people selling Watkins because he's ticked over, sort of thing. Like he's probably the other highly owned one. You know what I mean? And then all the rest are just really, really lowly owned. So you could sort of pick whichever one you want, can't you? Really?
Yeah.
Who like you mentioned? Let's talk about Darwin first, right? Because I think you think he's really going to start next week, which would make him a good pick. I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident he's first choice.
Yeah, and he's looked brilliant this season. He's looked really, really good this season, and especially in the last sort of 3 games. Was he any good on Saturday, or you didn't really
Yeah,
mention?
he was when he came on. I just got really, really confused looking at the points. Because I saw West Ham, it said 2, and I was like, he's not played West Ham yet, he's played Wolves. What's going on? And then I realised that's the fixture difficulty ticker number. That really threw me for. But
That's who
no,
they've got coming. That's who they got next week, isn't it?
yeah, West Ham at home, which a 2 is doing a bit of disservice to West Ham. Maybe that's why I double took.
2 is like an absolute joke. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, and then they got Spurs away, Brighton away, which is kind of tough. But he is a great pick when he plays, regardless. His stats are just so outrageous. He gets so many shots away. I think he's a really good pick at the moment, like I say. I think he is first choice. Tough to say still because there are still loads of options, but like his stats sort of speak for himself. He's have a guess how many shots he's taken per 90 minutes this season, Josh?
It's going to be an outrageous number because his minutes have been so low when he's came off the bench as well. So
Yeah,
I think he's played probably a total of like 120 minutes or something in 5 games.
that's
So
really good. That's really good. 1 to 8 minutes.
yeah, because I looked at it earlier. That's why, like, it was like even in the games he was coming on, it was like 12, 8, 10. So his per 90 he must have had about 10 shots or something, which would put it at like 6.6 shots per 90 or something like that.
It's 7.73 shots per
Yeah, which
90.
means he's had 11 shots. Yeah, I was close. I was pretty close. Yeah, it means he's had 11, right?
Yeah, but whenever he plays, he's just monstrous. Like he just shoots all the time. It's just outrageous. And it's 7.4. It's just way too cheap, I think. Um, yeah, I'd be getting on that if I could this week.
Do you think I would say the most sensible option to buy in this striker slot this week, and he'll be quite highly owned in 2 weeks, would be Morris from Luton. Like I think that makes sense, right, with the double coming up. He's played 93 times out of 4 games. They've obviously had one less than everyone else.
Pictures are really good.
And he's 5.5, and this week
God.
and next week are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, Wolves at home, then Everton away, Burnley at home in a double. That is pretty outrageous, to be fair.
It's good for a short-term punt, right?
Yeah, oh God, picking a losing striker.
I think he'd be like we're talking about luxury transfers. I think in 8 he would be a compulsory sell for me. Like as in this is just a 2 week thing, it's like a little fling, you know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think
It's like,
it's good for wild card, is right. Like if you want a wild card off the back of it, happy days.
yeah, good way to dead end actually. Like some people are gonna do this as well. They're gonna end up with like 4 Luton and Burnley players and then they're gonna wild card the week after. And I think it's a fun way to play, but I think it's probably not for me this time around.
No, you're not
Because I
really. Yeah.
don't think I'll be playing wildcard anytime soon, which sort of takes the option off the table. You know what I mean?
No,
So
you not playing an early wild card. I can't believe that.
I have actually played it early the last 2 years. It's not what I want to do, but I've been forced twice in the last 2 years. But yeah, I'm hoping to just roll. But yeah, the other one I saw who's done remarkably well so far this season, and he's never nailed is the problem. But Odson Edouard scored 4 goals this season so far.
Yeah, I was looking at him. I was looking
Like
at him earlier.
and they've got good home fixtures. So they've got Fulham at home, then United away, which isn't bad at all. Then
He's getting
Forest
minutes.
at home. Yeah,
He's never got minutes. Like last year, he always got 60 minutes on the dot, and they brought Mateta on for him.
yeah,
I don't know if you remember that. Whereas this
yeah.
year, he's played 90, 90, 70, 89, 89. So he's
This is
getting
a
the
big
minutes.
shift. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a big shift. Yeah,
And he was
wonder
always
if
pretty
it's
good when he played.
yeah.
But the fact he wasn't getting the minutes.
Mateta's actually got like 4 assists off the bench this year, and most of them have been for Edouard. It's been quite interesting. Like he's literally assisted Edouard like 3 times, I think, in the last sort of 3 games.
Who's he
He's
coming
playing
on
well
for
as
then?
well. Well,
Who's he coming on for?
he came on for RU this game because RU got injured. It came on about 20 minutes, I think. Yeah, it's been a really interesting one. I don't know if it's because they've been chasing the game or what, but they're both very much strikers. You know what I mean? So whether he's been playing as a striker, but he's like he looked quite wide righty when I saw him on Match of the Day this week. But yeah,
Yeah, he got 0 minutes the first 2 games. Um, then got 19 against Brentford, which I'm guessing is when Edouard came off. Um, and Wolves, he got 90 minutes against them as well. I don't know if they were behind in that game. No, they ended up winning 3-2. I don't know if they were behind going into that. Actually, it must have been because he got 2 assists. Yeah, it definitely works. He got 2 assists off the bench.
yeah, and Edward scored one of them.
So I think he'll be more. I think Edouard will be more risk in games where they're winning because they will just do that straight swap for Mateta. Whereas when games when they're trailing, they'll play both of them potentially.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. I think I think that's a sneaky good pick because I think people associate that as a guy who potentially wouldn't start every game and a guy who, if he does start, will come off on 60. Whereas we've identified that there's quite a few scenarios where he won't come off on 60, you know what I mean? Already, we've seen it quite a few times. So that's quite an interesting one. The Newcastle strikers, I mean, they've got good fixtures, right? I wouldn't know which way to
Yeah,
go, though.
I just don't like it. Yeah, I don't know where to go with it. Yeah,
Yeah, the fixtures are on their side, and whichever one starts will do well, I think. But I just
yeah,
feel like it's going to be a bit of both, like a bit of a mix.
and they come off for each other as well every time. Like you're getting 70 minutes max out of them. I think it's just too risky for what they are.
One I would have liked, but probably before this weekend, because next week they got Man City away, would have been our knee still. He looks
Yeah,
unbelievable. He's an absolute handful.
yeah.
I think he'll score tonight, actually. I really that would be my tip of the night, I think. I think he'll score tonight. But
Anyone watch this pod before the the start of the game? Go for it. Even though we're not live, it won't go out till tomorrow morning.
leaving money on the table, yeah. They're just, I should, we should. Oh, this is what I always say. We should record at 7 a.m. on a Monday so people can have the tips for the Monday night game. Yeah. So no, but they've got City away this week, so that's probably one to bring in 7 or 7 or 8, I would say, because in 7 they got Brentford, Palace, and Luton back to back, which is like a good 3 again. You know what I mean? And he's just like scored against everybody anyway. Every game he's played, he scored against like Arsenal and City. Arsenal and Man United, sorry, in the last like sort of 4 games, including the back end of last season. So yeah, um, with the fixtures, that's just an added boost for him, I think, rather than a necessity.
Yeah, what's
And
going
then
on at Arsenal?
what's that?
What's going on at Arsenal? Like, why is Nketiah starting games? Do you
I,
think
cou-
it was
I
just
could,
because the South American thing again?
it might be. I couldn't believe that yesterday. So I played
It must
Jesus
be.
in, yeah, I played Jesus in my showdown team on DraftKings, and I didn't even check the lineup. I was so sure he'd be starting,
Yeah,
and I ended up with a sub starting. I ended up with like a 0 pointer basically, but. Yeah, I was absolutely certain he'd be starting. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'm assuming it's just a South American thing. Actually, thinking about it, because
one,
he could be a fun pick. If he's starting every week, Gabriel Jesus is always a good pick.
yeah, he plays for a good team. Obviously, I just don't think you can be sure week to week.
I think you can though. I think we'll see. Given this week, given the fixtures are a bit crap now. Actually, so you got Spurs at home, then Bournemouth away, which is great. Then City at home, Chelsea away is pretty bad. And then it gets okay. So I guess you give it a few weeks and then see what's happening. But I'd be surprised if he doesn't become a regular.
Wait till after the next international break where he'll be benched again straight after.
Yeah,
And then,
that's the issue. Yeah,
no, we have to talk. One we have to talk about that's probably going, I would say, semi under the radar at the moment is Mikel Antonio, like for this West Ham team, and the fixtures are about to turn as well. Like not
yeah. He doesn't get the minutes. I just had a look at him. He just doesn't have the minutes. He gets 70 to 80 every week.
Oh
Max
no, it's
got
terrible.
66 this week.
What do you mean?
Which
That's
is not enough.
fine.
His stats aren't very good.
He's cheaper than all the other guys as well. He's 6 mil. That price is crazy.
Yeah, he's a really bad pick, but good shout, Josh, on bringing him up. He's just not good enough, like in the range.
I think I can get on board with this. These fixtures are so good, and I think he's going to play every game. Maybe Europe will change it a little bit.
We'll see.
If anyone wants the puppy update, she's had 2 poos, she's had 2 wees, and she's just been crying because she wants Becky to come back from shopping. But I've only gave her a carrot, and she seems like she's settled down. So you two might still have to do the show by yourself for the remainder, but I might chip in occasionally, okay? And for what it's worth, Antonio, absolute dog shit pick. They got the Europa League now as well. They got Danny Ings there. Like, no, not for me. They're going to rotate. He ain't going to get the minutes. He ain't going to play twice a week. Yeah.
Give us a quick Nick Jackson take, JB, before you go.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Yeah, I just think Chelsea as a whole just ain't clicking. Even with Pochettino as manager now, it seems like it's still a hangover from last year. I think kind of missed the boat anyway because you wanted him for these really good fixtures. He did deliver against Luton, but yeah, overall,
if you owned him, would you sell him?
I'd still give him another couple of games. I think he's still all right for the time being, but I would be looking to offload him. Yeah, definitely. We've got Cole Palmer will probably play out the wings when he comes on most of the time, but he could play up front. He has played there for Man City in the past, but Brozier's back in training now, and if Jackson ain't scoring, Poch might throw in Brozier once he's getting fit, or at least bring him on as a sub. So a little bit iffy for Miss Jackson at the moment.
Well, Brozier's not even on FPL at the moment, so.
Yeah, he had quite a bad injury, so he's going to be eased in gently anyway. But I think when Chelsea's fixtures turn as well, you ain't going to want Jackson then either. And he's on 4 bookings. Did you mention that? He gets booked. No. He gets booked about twice a game. So yeah.
Oh, so he's going to miss out on the 2 good fixtures after this one then. Great.
Yeah, probably. So.
It's going to be a natural sell pretty soon, I was going to say, just because of the way it drops, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people got him. But yeah, get an exit plan ready. Not 100% sure what players you mentioned, but yeah, there's a few good ones. I still like Watkins, even though he's not scoring. But for me, he plays so many minutes. I know they've got they're in the conference, Aston Villa, Europa Conference, but I'd still expect him to get a lot of minutes. And he's still getting chances. He nearly scored at the weekend as well. He gets a lot of
dropped for Duran.
That is, do you know what? I don't think he's going to get dropped at all, but Duran could eat into his minutes a little bit because he's cut the worldies he scored now. So
what a goal that was! It's outrageous.
Beauty, yeah. So that was really good from Duran. And the only other one I'd mention, obviously ain't done nothing so far, but Højlund for Man United. Man United's fixtures ain't too bad. They've got a couple of toughies, but on the whole they're okay. And I can't. He ain't going to start Martial. I mean, when he took Højlund off at the weekend, they needed a goal and he brought Martial on. It's obviously because they're easing Højlund back in after injury. But Højlund's going to start the majority of games. Looks really good. Puts himself about. He could, for 7 million, I think he's a good option. Just for the value, in terms of value, because it's very cheap.
They got 4 great fixtures. I would say they're really good with these 4.
Yeah, Højlund and Watkins.
They have after that though. So they got those 4. Then they got City at home, which is awful, obviously. Then they got Fulham away, Luton at home,
and
yeah, don't do that.
It's a really bad one. But then it gets really bad after that. But up until that, did you see what we did to Arsenal? How are United ever going to score?
You won 0-1. Yeah, is what happened.
Stifled them.
Far too much Everton talk. Have you touched on Morris and Foster because of the doubles?
We haven't talked about anyone that you would like, so.
No, we talked about Morris. We talked about Morris.
Yeah, purely because obviously Luton and Burnley have got a double in a couple of weeks. So if you're prone to a double game week, like I know you like that, Josh, any double game week, you're all over it. Not the best teams in the league, obviously, but they do play each other, which is obviously a bonus. So that's a good game, really, for both of them. They've both scored. They both look okay. Very cheap as well. So if you want to take a punt, there isn't that many great forwards at the moment. But if you want to get a cheap one in, and then you can have a little bit of extra money for your midfield if you want to upgrade to, I don't know, Bruno, Asana, Rashford, or even a Salah maybe. You could downgrade a Jackson to a Morris or Foster to enable a little bit of extra cash perhaps.
Yeah, so two things. One, I thought you said Morrison Foster. I thought that was the name of the Burnley guy, right? So that's the first. That's the first one. Number two, I think you can get these guys in, but I said to Doyle, I think they're compulsory sells in week 8. So I think you can have Morrison Foster for 6 and 7, like especially for the Luton guy because they got a good fixture in 6 and really good double. But then I think after that you just want to sell it straight away and move it on to a different guy. And yeah, I think this striker position is the best one to take a differential punt in now because I think everyone's not doing well. I think Alvarez is doing really well. And then Watkins has ticked away, but he's never, ever, ever going to hurt you. And then other than that, like they've been so bad. So yeah, maybe taking a punt on a Hoyland or a Morrison Foster or whatever he's called. Like maybe that might be the way to go.
Are you teeing us up because you're going to do the double up with Morrison Foster for the double? I can see it coming. Double
Can you
transfer
imagine?
in.
Haaland out, Morrison Foster in. Yeah. If I'm not going to cap him, I'm not owning him. So simple as.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And another player who started quite well at his new club, Archer, for Sheffield United, 4.5 million. Again, exactly the same thing, an enabler. Obviously cheaper than Foster at 5 million and Morris is 5.5. But even, if you get one of them in for the doubles, you might want to sell them eventually. But if you get in Archer now for Sheffield United, who scored on his debut, and he got an assist as well, I believe, which was almost a goal, but it was like one of those own goals off the goalkeeper. You can keep him on your bench for the foreseeable future as well at 4.5. So he's a good spot, I think.
He's the obvious enabler, definitely. Yeah. I think maybe if someone was wildcarding now, it'd be interesting to see whether they go Foster as their enabler or whether they go Archer, because Foster might be good at 5 just for a few weeks, you know what I mean? And then you get Archer in when you need 0.5 or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, that might be a good spot as well. I quite like Morris. I was saying.
You just don't need the budget there, right? In what possible world do you need to go down to 5.0 at the striker?
No, I meant up to a 5.0 was your 8th attacker.
Oh, was your final guy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said something good for once. We agree. We're good. Yeah. No, that's what I meant. I meant Foster as a 5.0 and then you bench him most weeks.
Yeah.
But play him in that double.
Yeah, that's what you should do, obviously.
Yeah. Quite like that, actually. I might get him this week. Because I've got Osula at the moment who, true to my word, he started the first 2 games and now I think he's gone back to Denmark or something. I don't think he's around anymore. But
he was injured last.
That's the thing. Yeah. Proper FPL managers sort of saw that one coming. Josh, they saw in game week 1 that Cameron Archer was going to go there and take Osula's spot. It was pretty. You got sometimes when you use that third eye, Josh. When you use the third eye to get through.
I did say that was going to happen, to be fair, but he is injured, so I'm sure now McBurney's suspended, they'll be doing everything they can to get Osula back to play next to Archer in the next big game, whoever they're playing. So.
What a strike force that'd be. I might have to do the double up then. Get rid of Haaland, get Osula in.
Doyle was so ahead of the times. He foresaw this and jumped on Archer 3 years ago. He's had him for 3 years in his team, waiting for this moment.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to get there a little bit early. Sometimes to benefit from the points, but
Yeah. Any more? We briefly said that the Newcastle ones are pretty rubbish, JB, because we don't know which one's going to start.
Yeah, I don't even think Eddie Howe knows at this moment. I mean, it depends how they do the Champions League. They can both play. He could in the Premier League might play one, bring the other one on. You're taking a complete gamble if you take one of them. I do think they'll do okay. I do think they'll get their points, but it's one of those where it's like Man City midfielder. Some weeks they're not going to play. You can be really disappointed. I don't think you're going to win the game or go flying high if you get one of them. Put it like that. So I'd steer clear of them for sure. As Doyle mentioned, Darwin.
Yeah, of course he did. That was the first one we went to.
I heard while I was soaking up the pea with the kitchen roll, did he mention Jesus? I think he's quite interesting. He didn't start, but he has to start, right? He ain't going to play Nketiah up front. And he's dropped to 7.9 as well. So I think they're my 3. Hoyland, Jesus.
Yeah, take a flyer on one. Oh, not Darwin.
Not for me.
I thought that was coming
in. Who was your other one, JB?
Hoyland, Watkins, and...
Oh, Watkins.
Yeah.
Ugh. How boring is Watkins? Right.
What a way to end the season.
What's your three, Doyle?
Hoyland, Darwin, Jesus.
I knew we'd all be on Hoyland, literally. But mine are Hoyland, Awaniyi, definitely, and I'll say Morris. I think Morris scores really well in the next two games.
What's Forest's fixtures like?
They got some good home games, so I was saying it's the entry point's not next week. The entry point for them is week 7 onwards. And obviously, like tonight would have been a good game to have him for Burnley at home, you know what I mean? But they've got from 7 onwards, they got Brentford at home, Palace away, Luton at home, which is a nice 3 for a player who's been fixture proof anyway for the last like 9 weeks, you know what I mean, of data. So yeah, I think the fixtures are just a bonus for this guy. He's an absolute monster. And Luton at home is as good as it gets. Like, as in, he could score a hat trick in that game. You know what I mean? As anyone could who plays Luton, to be honest. So,
unless you're sorry, Miss Jackson, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm just going to sell Jackson once he's got his suspension, which I would imagine will be after this weekend.
Do you know what you're going to do yet? Have you got the exit plan sorted? Are you preparing cash or going to sell him for someone cheaper? Or
yeah. So I think luckily all the guys we want are around his price. I'm not going to go up to Jesus or Watkins. So Hoyland 7, that's ideal. I might take that because they've got like 4 good fixtures now as well. If it was to happen this week, I'd be between Awaniyi and Hoyland because they've both got like the mini run of fixtures from like after this weekend. You know what I mean? But yeah, so if I was buying in 7, I'd buy Morris. I would buy Morris, Hoyland, or Awaniyi. So yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't pick them as my favourite 3. You know what I mean? If it was a bit longer along the line, because I'll probably keep him, like I say, till he gets suspended. Then I need to look at who's got the good fixtures in, say, 3 weeks. You know what I mean? That might be a completely different player at that point. But yeah,
it's very interesting. the whole discussion we've had, we've said so many options. And there is quite a few options. At the beginning of the season, there was nobody. Everyone's playing 1 up top, 2 at the most. Whereas now there's.
I think you're the only person playing 1 up top, JB. But yeah, good to
well, that was the elite move, clearly. But you got Alvarez as well. If you want to take a punt on Ferguson, perhaps, but obviously there's a lot of rotation there. So
I wouldn't go Ferguson. I think Alvarez, you're not going to sell him. I don't think he's just done so well for his owners. I think they're going to keep him and accept the benching. You know what I mean?
We probably should just buy him because he's the best pick by far. But we're just now in the stage where Champions League is coming up. We're like, nah, so I'm not doing it now.
Hunt City, it's beautiful. Awaniyi doesn't have Champions League, I'll tell you that.
Not yet.
Maybe next season, yeah, but not this year.
Wait till his big money January move, mate. When he scores every game for the next 20.
Oh goodness, what a player!
Right, should we move on to teams then for next game week?
Come on in.
Yeah.
Who wants to go?
JB, you go first because you might have to go with a puppy any
Very true. Yeah, and the missus might come back with shopping any minute, so then. She's sleeping at the moment next to my feet, but she'll be out of here like a bat out of hell in a minute. So my team, viewers can see it on the screen. I've got 2 frees. I still don't know what I'm going to do yet. So everyone's got a decent fixture this week, to be honest. Obviously, Tottenham play Arsenal. Not too worried about that. I think there could be goals in that game. Tottenham playing very attacking football at the moment. But other than that, the team looks really, really good. I do need to use a transfer. I do want to get a goalkeeper transfer in at some point. But Pickford's got 2 really good games coming up. So I don't really want to get rid of him. I do think Turner will get displaced at some point. So I probably will get Areola in perhaps. And then obviously, I think I'll keep Chilwell for the moment. I know that a lot of people are going to be selling him. But yeah, it's a bit tricky. Basically, with what I want to do over the next couple of weeks is get Mbumo and Wissa out after the next 2 games. They've got 2 really good fixtures. And whatever I do will be based around shifting Mbumo and Wissa and probably maybe upgrading Wissa and perhaps downgrading Mbumo to someone a little bit cheaper to get the funds. We'll see. If I have to almost burn a transfer this week, though, it'd be for Gabriel, I think. I just don't really like Arsenal's fixtures, so I'll probably get rid of him.
That's an interesting one. Would you go for like a Luton Burnley player, or are you not interested in the double?
No, I don't think so. I'm just going to avoid it because I'll only want to get rid of them after that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think. Is there any defender you've got your eye on buying, or?
Well, it was Ndogi, but I don't really like Tottenham's fixtures, to be honest. So I'm thinking, do I save money and go super cheap or get someone else in? I'm still not too sure. Might even be. I did look at Shaw as well. I don't mind Shaw. I think Newcastle's fixtures are really good. I've already got Botman, but I wouldn't mind a double up. Even if Dan Burn keeps his place in the team, he's quite cheap. So we'll see. Few options there.
I'd go with Dogie. I think still like you can bench him the next two, and then the fixtures go really good really quickly again. So like they've got two bad ones, but then like they're just good, and he's good. He's fine to bring off the bench. You know what I mean? Like this week, you've got four defenders that you want to start, haven't you? Really, like already, like
Yeah.
Botman, Estupinan, Gvardiol, and Chilwell have all got good fixtures. You know what I mean? So you don't need a doggy this week, so I would get him still. And
I'm telling a lie, actually. I know who I was thinking of getting for Gabriel. I was going to get Matt Cash or Pau Torres, but probably Cash just for the upside that he's looked really attacking and he's been very versatile. He's played further up the pitch. He's played back as well. So, and even when he's in like a wing back role where he's he's bombing forward. And I think Aston Villa's fixtures look so good. I
they're
want to
really
get
good.
on board with that. So yeah, sorry, it wasn't Dogi. Got put off by the fixtures a little bit, and then I was looking at Newcastle and Villa for the fixtures really, and Matt Cash was the one that stuck out. He's gone up a little bit in price, 4.7, but not too worried about him losing his place. I think Moreno and Digne are the other side, so they'll battle it out now. Moreno's fit, and now Diego Carlos is injured. Not sure how bad that one is. Obviously, Mings is out long term, so Konsa should be centre back. I know he can sort of play across the line as well. So I'd imagine Matt Cash's position's locked up. So yeah, he might be the transfer this week. Cash for Gabriel.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about them is they're like, I don't know if saying they're crap defensively is correct, but like they're so attacking minded in their like philosophy that they don't keep clean sheets. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd be worried about with them. But maybe his attacking returns and the odd clean sheet will be enough. I don't know.
Yeah, there's not been many clean sheets about for anyone really, is there, this season so far? There's been a lot of goals scored. Everyone keeps conceding, but yeah, I think purely because of the attacking output from Cash as well. That's what's interesting me. If you are going to get someone, shoot for the upside, perhaps.
I should. And then Captain Haaland, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just auto. I mean, ever since it was 2-3 weeks ago, and Salah had a great fixture, didn't he, at home to someone? Was it Bournemouth? I think it was Bournemouth. And I still captain Haaland that week. So yeah, if I'm doing that, Haaland still scoring most games. So stick with the crowd.
Josh, want to go with your team?
No worries. Yeah, I've got 2 frees, and I'm going to be basically burning again as well. I'm going to do. I think I'm tempted by Osula to Foster now. I was going to do Archer automatically just by default, but I'm going to just get Foster in, and I'll probably punt playing him.
He's
I'll
0.5
need.
more as well, isn't he? He's very cheap. It's not
He's 5 mil, yeah.
5 million. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't afford Morris. I would really like Morris, to be clear, but I can't afford to do that slot to Morris. So I might just get Foster, and as long as he doesn't go down injured tonight or something, we're absolutely fine. So yeah.
The only thing I would say though, obviously you want to play your 5 midfielders, don't you? You've got 5 in midfield.
Yeah.
Then you've got Haaland, and then you've got Miss Jackson. So when the double rolls round, will you be selling Jackson by then? Because otherwise, if you got Foster, you're going to want to play him in a double. You obviously can't play 5 midfielders and 3 strikers. So would that sort of be the move, or you'd have to sell someone, wouldn't you? Really, unless you're benching Jackson, I guess.
I might just bench, but I would bench Jackson out of everyone at the moment. I'm just looking at the fixtures. I would definitely bench Jackson out of everyone I've got.
And how are you feeling on Sterling as well? You still keeping Sterling?
Oh, he's gone. Absolutely fantastic.
We've been all over the show on this episode, haven't we?
This is an absolute joke. Yeah, so Sterling, I'm actually gutted because me and Doyle watched the Luton Chelsea game together, and even in that game, I think Chelsea as a whole were crap. Like especially in the first half, it was so disjointed, and
Yep.
understandably there's new signings, right? I do get that, but my gut was telling me you were playing terrible still, like that you weren't looking good. But Sterling looked really good in that game. He was the one bright spark. So I bought him on the basis of that, basically. And to be fair, he had a lot of shots last week. Not so many this week, but he had a lot last week.
Hit a bar this week.
Yeah.
Out as well.
And Jackson at the post. I mean, it could have easily been a return each this week again. I mean, you know, it's the actual results compared to like how many chances they've had. There's a big disparity there. You know what I mean? So I have been a bit frustrated by them, but again, you just look at this week's fixture, and there's like Villa at home's a really good fixture for attackers because like it's going to be an open game of football. Like it could be a 4-2 again, either way. You know what I mean? Something like that. So let's hope we're on the right side of it this time, and
then
and we
after
get
that,
some.
you've got Fulham and Burnley as well, so two decent fixtures.
That's what I mean. We know why we bought the Chelsea guys. It's because they had 6 good fixtures in a row or 7 good fixtures in a row. So
Yeah.
I'm sticking by the fixture run. You know what I mean? So
And then technically as well, even after that, I mean, it does get very. I mean, it's horrendous. It's Arsenal, Brentford, Spurs, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, man. It's like all the top teams, but
yeah,
they are at home in 9 and 10 against Arsenal and Brentford.
yeah. So to be clear, as soon as I'm able to, I'm going to be selling these fuckers. I hate them. Like they've really pissed me off. Like you tell me there's one bad fixture, they're gone straight away. But that's not coming up in the next sort of 3 weeks. So that Arsenal game, it'll be mass exodus. Trust me. Like I might do a triple. I might do a triple sale. I mean,
Mini wildcard.
Jackson will already be gone by then because he'll definitely have his 5th yellow by then. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be this weekend, to be honest. So yeah, he will be gone very soon. But the other two are gone as soon as Arsenal comes around. Absolutely gone. I don't care what they do between now and then. They I promise you, they are gone.
Yeah, they'll drop like a stone as well. If they don't return, a lot of people will be getting rid of them, so you'll obviously lose a lot of value on them as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to run my Man United midfielders out for the next couple of games. Still, they've got 4 really good ones, as I said. I think it's Burnley, Palace at home. That's good. Brentford at home. Sheffield United away. I think they're good enough for a good team like Man United, who've been really attacking as well. By the way, like we said, I don't know if you was here or not, but we said Rashford missed so many chances at the weekend again. Like he had 4 or 5 chances.
I
Yeah,
was literally just about to say Rashford. I want him in my team, even though I sold him a few weeks ago because he looks so good. Like he hasn't had the end product necessarily, like he did last season where he kept scoring, but he's looked dangerous coming in. And even I saw match of the day, the highlights this week. He looks really really good. I'd rather have him for the extra 0.5 over Bruno. I think at the moment.
the returns are coming. Like I still prefer Bruno, but he was non-existent at the weekend. I was quite concerned at the weekend, but I'm keeping both. It's going to happen quite a lot where it's like Rashford assist, Bruno goal, Bruno assist, Rashford goal. And I'm just hoping we get those because the same as we've been hoping for with Sterling and Jackson, really. So maybe that'll come as well. Yeah.
So I think I dropped off for a second there. Sorry, Josh, my battery died. But who are you getting rid of for him then?
I'm going to sell Osula.
No, you can't get him from Muscular.
No, get who?
Who do you think? The main man, the Brazilian.
Eto.
Get him back.
Got to get him straight back. Now he scored, mate. The confidence is back. He went to the fat crowd. He had a cry. It was amazing.
Yeah, I actually think I might buy him in week 8 again. Like they've got 2 bad fixtures, but he's unbelievable when he plays. He's absolutely unbelievable. Like I don't. So other people get like they love to use bad words about people who miss chances, right? So Jackson's missed loads in the last like 3-4 weeks, and he's been pretty bad. He looked good. His hold up play was really good in the sort of the first 3 games, but it's like he's got a bit worse since then, and he's missed a lot of chances, like a lot, right? And the same happened to Richarlison, but I just see it as a positive thing. I want them in the position to just keep being on the 6-yard box in the middle of the goal. You know what I mean? Kicking it towards the goal. So, yeah, I've got my eye on him definitely. If he scores in the derby, oh my god, his shirt will be off. He'll be literally in the middle of the fans. He'll be like in the middle of the stand.
You don't have to see a psychiatrist or something, Kenny, like for mental health issues and stuff. And you're looking at
Not
getting
anymore. He scored now. It's all in fix now.
I'd steer
He'll be
glass here of him.
he'll be back starting up front next week. Son's back on the wing. All the people who bought him are screwed.
Yeah, the psychiatrist literally said, "What you need is a goal. That's all you need, right?" And and he thought, "Oh, is that all I need? All right," and then kicked it in. Absolutely
To be
beautiful.
fair, I'll tell you what you'll love, Josh. My two transfers in fanteam this week, I took out Kulusevski and Richarlison.
I don't know how you did that ahead of Sheffield United at home.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get other players in. I had so many transfers to use as well. Yeah, bad error on my part.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't think Richarlison was going to play. That was why I took him out.
yeah. Overall, I think you've done all right there because I did the opposite where I piled in loads of Spurs players, and I captained Son in the ones because on some teams now I've got triple Spurs midfield. I've got Son, Madison, Kulusevski.
Well, you say that. I bought in Son for Kulusevski with a bit of extra money.
Oh, even better. Yeah. So you actually like did the nut worst thing you could possibly do. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love Colours. He looks really, really good as well. He's completely nailed. It seems like they absolutely love him. Contrary to what Doyle thinks, he's actually like 23 as well. You thought he was about 35, didn't you, Doyle, or something? When we talked about this before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, he's 23 years old. He's an absolute. He's going to be a sensational footballer. He's so good.
I
Yeah.
think he's one of those that goes well under the radar. He always does really well. I'm always impressed with him, but he never really gets the plaudits.
Yeah, so he was a bit not nailed last year. Like there was a bit too with Kane there. There was a bit too many bodies. You know what I mean? Like they had the five sort of attackers, didn't they? Well, they had the four attackers for three slots with Son, Richarlison, Kulu, and Kane. Now they play four attackers, including Madison. So
Yeah,
they're just all going to play every game. They've got Solomon, who's looked all right. They've got Perisic, but you know who's going to play in the proper team when they play properly. So.
yeah, and he was on loan, and they took the option to buy him this summer as well. So they obviously like him and want him now.
Yeah, they got a good deal on him as well. He was only 20 odd mil or something.
Yeah,
Like ridiculous. For a young player, that's phenomenal business, that is. Yeah. They look a really good team, Spurs do. It's just like mentality sometimes, isn't it? But they've looked so good. And yeah, Ange Ball, etc.
should we
Up to you, Dol.
Yeah, my team is pretty crap.
I see you, Rico Henry at the back already.
Yeah, great. Yeah, the nail
Goalkeeper issues.
gets does his ACL for it. Yeah, potential goalkeeper issues as well with Sammy J. Don't know what happened there.
Let him free at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, it's not a good sign. So we'll see there. I think defensive wise, it's not too bad though. If Rico misses out or play a Dogi, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, he's got Kabore at Luton. You know, looks decent.
Yeah, did he play? Oh,
Yeah,
he
he
did
did.
play. Oh my God, he's straight in the starting lineup.
Wolves at home.
He's good for the double.
Go on, Kabore.
You can cap him for the second time this season in that kind of fixture.
Just swap my bench order to put my head of a Dogi. So.
Nice.
Midfield's all right. I've got Foden, who I'm a little bit worried about still from minutes perspective, given he came off early as well on the weekend, which is weird. Yeah, Sterling, Madison, Salah, Bruno, all fine. Haaland, Wissa, fine. Carlin, Cap. Yeah, I'll just have to do some. I might do something with Henry, but I might just roll it, to be honest with you, given the defensive cover now. And now I've figured out I've got Kabore. I don't think I need it. So.
I was saying this in the other chat. You're going to get the City team probably early. So I would probably think you're going to be selling Foden, I think.
Yeah, possibly. That could be the one.
There's just so many people to buy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, who do I get?
Oh, I don't know. You've put me on the spot now. It's a bit of a... And Mbumo's really good still. I would say he's got the fixtures as well.
Yeah, I don't think I can deal with more of these Brentford losers. I really hate them.
It's just two more games. You've got to get through two more games.
I might take a flight on this DRB lad. I really like the look of him.
He's great, and they've got really good fixtures.
I think he looks really good. And
he was my other pick who, when I jump off Mbumo, I'm looking for at DRB because of the fixture run as well for Villa.
I think he's a really good pick.
Eze's a good little punt off it. Like, there's a lot of midfielders like extra to the ones we talked about last week. You know what I mean? There's so many.
Yeah, I think there's maybe not enough goals in that Palace side.
DRB is the one. I think that's a really nice flyer.
Yeah, so I might do that if he's ruled out. Go down.
I saw a lot of wildcard drafts last week that had DRB and Salah in over like the two more, like, because I would have gone for the more mid-price ones still.
like
But I
brutal.
think Diaby and Salah's better now. I think that's good. I think that's really good.
Yeah, so I'll probably do that. Cool. Should we call it there? A nice
Yeah.
hour, I think. I think we've managed it just about on the hour.
Oh,
It's
it's
been
very
eventful.
close. You have to do some cuts chopping off either side, I think. Yeah. All in FPL on YouTube. If you type it in, please subscribe there. All in FPL on Twitter. Please give us a follow there. And like ask us any questions also. And yeah, that's my job, I think.
Right, I'm going to go and give the puppy her dinner.
Thanks for the 30-minute stint,
Bye.
JB. Cheers, mate.
You're welcome. See you later. Have a good week.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.